welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, we've got the Jeep in the garage and we're going to be working on it today. I'm actually going to be replacing the seats again. About a year ago, I went through the process of installing some rugged ridge replacement seats, and I'm really just not happy with them. So I found some used OEM ones online on Facebook Marketplace, and we're going to be putting those back in. But before we work on that, let me go over a few things of why I really dislike these rugged ridge seats. All right, so here's the seats that I put in last year. They're the rugged ridge. I can't remember which model. I'll put something on screen that tells you which model they are. But yeah, I'm really unhappy with them. First of all, they're way too thick and they sit up way too high. Like my legs barely clear the steering wheel. I mentioned this in the video when I installed them, and I figured over time that they would kind of soften or sag a little bit and increase space, but no, I can barely activate the clutch. It's hard to get in and out. The foam has not settled down at all, and they're still really firm. And like I said, my knee and leg is just too close to the steering wheel. There's just simply not enough room. And that's not an issue I had with the OEM seats. So that's the first thing I don't like. Second thing I don't like is the back on them. It doesn't really come up high enough, so there's nothing behind your head, which when you're on the road for a little bit, it's kind of a pain. There's just no good head support, and it's just kind of an uncomfortable chair to ride in. Like I mentioned, they're really firm, so they're firm. The head support isn't there. Also, the back is non-adjustable. They're a fixed position seat. So they're just uncomfortable to ride in. And then the last thing that, let me jump in and see if I can show you this. The last thing that I really don't like about these seats is the seating position is like off center of the steering wheel and the clutch pedals. So, you know, I'm sitting over decently off center. So it's just kind of an awkward driving position. And as you can see, here's my leg next to the seat. I can not even really fit my finger through there without squishing my leg, and activating the clutch is just a challenge. So these seats, they're just not good. They haven't really held up well. They've got some stains. They're not comfortable. These things, they just got to go. They're not good seats. So in terms of a long-term review of these seats, my recommendation would be don't buy them. They're not comfortable. They sit too high. They have awkward seating position, and yeah, they're just not great. So let me show you the seats I got off Marketplace. They're similar to what I had before. The foam seems in a little bit better condition. So let's take a look at those. All right, so here's the driver's seat. As you can see, it does have a couple tears in it, but the foam's all there. It's just this vinyl that's torn. That's the difference between these and the ones I originally had. These are vinyl. The original ones were fabric. So I'm hoping they won't stain as bad. But besides that, they actually look pretty clean. The passenger seat is pretty much perfect. Let me show you that. So there's the passenger seat. Like I said, no tears. The foam is in really nice condition. Yeah, they're a good seat in good condition. So I think these should be a lot better than what I have. That lower seat height, number one, is something I really miss from the original seats. That higher back with kind of neck and head support, that's going to be good. And then, yeah, just kind of getting back to an original look to the Jeep. I think these will just look a little bit nicer. So I'm going to go ahead and install these. I won't take you through the whole process. I already have a video on how to swap out seats. It's 4 bolts under each one. Pretty straightforward. If you want to check out how to do that, I've got a video in the description. So let me get these in, and then we'll meet back up. So there's the driver's in. You can kind of see what's going on, I think, a little bit. So these are both slid back, I think, as far as they can go. But you can kind of see how the old OEM style, like it's got a deeper seat base and kind of allows you to sit back a little bit more. So you're sitting a little bit further back, which is, I think, what allows you to kind of drop your knee down and give a little bit more leg room. So I jump in here. You kind of see like my thigh is a little bit lower and my knee is kind of forward you know, not as close to the steering wheel. It's kind of coming up behind it there. So that just change in seating position just feels so much better. Like there's plenty of room. I can actually hit the emergency brake if I need to. I can push the clutch no problem. It just, overall, these seats just work better. And I'm still a little off center from the pedals. I think, you know, remembering back, that's just how these YJs are, but it's a lot more comfortable. I've got kind of neck support and everything, so this is gonna work well. All right, so there it is. Yeah, it's a pretty quick install. They are way better than those rugged ridge seats. Those things, I definitely won't be putting those back in, and I can't really recommend them. I mean, maybe if you're short, they work. For reference, I'm 6'1", and I just really do not fit with those seats. So maybe if you're like 5'7", 5'8", they work fine. But for me, it just wasn't gonna happen. So I'm really glad I got these OEM seats back in. This is kind of the theme of this, switching back to OEMs, kind of where I'm going to take the Jeep directionally. Instead of doing some of the modifications that are more for off-roading or four-wheeling or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to try and take this Jeep in more of like I guess you'd call it like an OEM plus type direction. So doing things that are functional, that also look good, maybe help performance in some ways, so like better, you know, bushings for suspension or things like that. Some projects that are probably coming up is I need to replace the gas tank skid plate. It's completely rusted through, so that'll be on the list. Probably need to refresh the rear, or the front bumper, sorry. It's chipped and kind of dented, so just some kind of insight as to what projects will be coming up. But if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And like I said, I'll hopefully continue putting out videos kind of this same theme of where we're kind of fixing this Jeep up pretty nice. Trying to get it to that OEM plus look where it just looks good. I think a good example of that are like the TJ wheels here. Like they're still factory, but they're TJ wheels, and I think they look a little bit nicer than what came stock on these Jeeps. So there'll be more content like this, but if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.